what's up you guys? It's your favorite awkward girl on the internet, and today I am here. I'm here. Yes, you may notice a couple of things that are different. And by things, I mean thing. I shaved my head again. I did. I shaved it again. It's a part of my life. My husband accepts it. I'm very blessed in that I have a husband that doesn't care what I do. So yeah, the blue hair's gone. I shaved it. New year, no hair? Is that a thing? I don't know. But yes, today I'm here, one, to kind of explain why things have been, like, videos have been a little scattered lately, and two, we found out some news which has to do with the first thing. So I guess I'll just come out and say it, and I'm sure you'll see by the title of this video what I'm about to talk about. We found out this week that my son has autism. Now, how to explain what autism is can be hard. There's a lot about autism and to know about autism, and it's a wide spectrum of symptoms, and if you are interested, then I will put some links down below to websites that can tell you more. I am not an expert, not by far, but yes, so we found out my son has autism, and it's been a rough week. Not really because of that, just because I've had a feeling about it for a while now, and it was just pretty much getting the diagnosis just so we can get him some better therapies, but I've had a feeling for a while now. So getting the diagnosis wasn't as world-stopping, world-changing. It wasn't that crazy. Of course, you do go through a little bit of grief, and which is normal. Because of course, it's like but you kind of hope that it's not, you know. But yes, he was diagnosed with autism, and I figured in today's video I would just kind of maybe go over RJ's life as far as his development, and just kind of tell you guys like when I started to see signs and what made me think RJ was different. And yeah, so I'll just go into that. This is not scripted at all. I just decided I wanted to talk about it, mostly because when we announced it on Facebook that we had gotten the diagnosis, so many people showed their support and love, and this video is to thank you guys and to also just let you into our lives a little bit. I know this can be a very personal thing. Not everybody who has a kid with autism is as open as I am about it, but mostly it's for awareness. And autism doesn't change who RJ is. RJ is RJ, and he's my son, and I love him so much. And I also want people to know that they're not alone. And there may be moms who are going through the same thing, noticing the same signs that I noticed, and who knows, this might help push you into seeking a diagnosis, because a lot of the times friends and family can tell you everything is okay when you just have a feeling, you know. But anyways, I'll stop rambling and I'll get into what I'm gonna get into. I don't know. I'm also sick, so when I said it was a crazy week, then we got the diagnosis. Both me and RJ are sick. I look like the dude from the space song guy. I don't know. It's okay. So, as you guys know, my pregnancy was not anywhere near normal. I was on bed rest for 3 months, and also for like the first part of my pregnancy, it was bad. I had massive anxiety attacks, and they ended up putting me on medication. And that is not to say that that is what caused RJ's autism. We don't know what caused RJ's autism. We'll never know exactly why RJ has autism, but we'll just, start there. And then my son was born at 27 weeks and 5 days. He was 5 pounds 10 ounces and looked like a wrinkly old man, but everything was good with him. His APGAR scores were perfect, and we stayed in the hospital for like 3 days, I think, mostly because of me, because I lost a lot of blood, and so I had to get my hemoglobin back up. But other than that, RJ was perfect. Um, he was a wrinkly little baby, and I loved him so much. Oh my gosh. And as far as RJ's milestones, he hit every milestone pretty much on the mark. He started crawling or sitting up when he was supposed to. He was crawling when he was supposed to. He was babbling when he was supposed to. He walked when he was supposed to. He did all of those things. But like how I like to tell my doctors is that he kind of hit the babbling stage and then never grew. And RJ from a young age has always been so into spinning things. And I'll try to insert videos here and there to kind of show examples of this, but RJ will spin anything you can put in his hands. He will, like, his favorite toys is a laundry basket that he can spin around and around and around. And his other favorite toy is anything flat, like a plate or a frisbee or bowls. He likes pot lids. It's now he's gotten more into playing with toys, especially since we've started therapy. But yeah, his favorite, he loves to spin things, and he always has. Even before his shots, I don't think vaccines caused RJ's autism. Do your research before you come to your conclusions, but I don't believe vaccines caused RJ's autism. RJ has always had a particular way of being RJ, even before his MMR vaccine or what have you. But he loved to spin things, and he loved to watch things go round and around. He could watch the fan for hours. He loved the fan. Yeah, so that was something that at first we were like we thought was really funny, and we thought it was such an RJ thing to do, and we thought it was part of his personality, which later we learned it's a thing called stimming, and a lot of people stim, even people who don't have autism stim, but it's a way to kind of self-stimulate. And some people tap their leg, some people twiddle their hair or touch their face, and RJ happens to like spinning, and he likes to wave things in front of his eyes. But that was kind of like the first thing that was just like, oh, that's so funny. You know, he didn't really play with any of his toys. Like, he preferred the basket, or he preferred playing with the tags of things. And but yeah, and so he started babbling all at the right time. All of those milestones he hit perfectly. But one thing is that he never called for us. And to this day, you know, my son is almost 25 months old, a year and 1 month, 2 years and 1 month, and he has yet to call me mama, which I can't speak for all moms of autistic kids, but that's the hardest one for me, is you don't quite feel like a mom until your kid calls you mama. So but yeah, he never said any words. So so that was a sign that he never really progressed into saying words. He didn't call for us. Two, RJ has always been a very independent kid, and that was always something that we were extremely proud of. We always got compliments on how quiet RJ was and how good he was, and it's just, I don't know, like, we always got those compliments, and we were very proud of it. But at a point, it got to a point where, like, you know, you want your kid to come up to you and want you to play with them, right? Something that RJ is very good at, which some kids with autism have struggles with, is that he's pretty good with eye contact. As long as he isn't focused or stimming, he's pretty good at, like, looking at you, and, like, he's good at peekaboo and hide and seek and things like that. So we're very lucky, and we're very fortunate that RJ loves to play those games with us. But so delayed speech, very independent, didn't really want to play with anybody else. He's very, like, self-sufficient as far as playing, and a lot of what his play has to do is his stimming. Like his stimming and his play kind of are one, if that makes any sense. And going to therapy is that's one of the things that they try to help, is to try to guide RJ into more of a I probably have said a million times, but to guide RJ into more of a functional kind of play instead of just stimming and stimming and stimming. But so yes, so delayed speech, very independent, and he also he covers his ears a lot. And I remember when he first started doing this, I always wondered, like, why, you know? At first I used to tell myself maybe he was just experimenting, you know, like just discovering that, oh, hey, if I cover my ears, it makes the world sound different. But he kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. And so that is another kind of like flag for autism, is that sensory overload. He doesn't like certain noises, loud noises, and it could be anything. Like for the longest time, we thought he liked the movie Sing. But every time it would come on, he would cover his ears. Every time. And now we don't play it for him anymore just because you know, he's covering his ears. He doesn't want to hear it. But it's just funny how different things makes him want to cover his ears. But yeah, so all of these things were going on, and I didn't really start thinking like something maybe off until maybe he was about like 15 months. I was just like, and it's funny how the world does this, the universe, you know. We were in the library and I was looking through the manga section, of course, and I came across a book called With the Light, which is about a mother raising her autistic child. And I thought it was so cool because, one, I'm a mom, and I love to read other mom perspectives, and to have it in manga form was super cool. And so I was like, oh, let me check this out. And so I checked it out and I started reading, and some of the things started to kind of line up with RJ, and I was like, RJ can't have autism. Like, he's fine. Like, he laughs and he plays and like, he's fine. But like, it's just like, reading the book made me question, like, could he? No. And of course, like, you think, could he? And then of course you push it to the back of your brain. No, he doesn't have autism. He's fine. But the more and more I read, and the universe just kept putting things into my life. Like, I started reading that, and then shortly after that, the show Atypical came out on Netflix, and I watched that. And then, like, The Good Doctor came out, and it was just, like, it was a lot of different things that, like, I swear, like, the universe was trying to tell me something. And so I started researching autism. And everything I read just kind of, like, checked off with RJ, you know? Like, it was like I was reading a description of my child. Which is scary, you know, like, because autism or autism spectrum disorder, has such a wide range of symptoms and severities. It can be scary, you know. You never know. I mean, you don't. A lot of what the media shows, and when I say media, like movies and articles and things like that, tend to be about one end of the spectrum or the other. The spectrum where they're like fine and they can talk and, you know, they're functioning. And then the other side of the spectrum, which is this severe low functioning spectrum. And so, like, you see, and you watch these, well, at least I watch, whenever I'm interested in something, I tend to dive in, like, head first as far as, like, research, and I look into it, and I watch movies and I read books, and you see these documentaries about kids with autism, and a lot of them are about the lower functioning side of things, and it's hard to watch. And so, like, again, I pushed it out of my head. RJ can't have autism. But then he went to his 21-month appointment for his checkups at his doctor, and they have you fill out a questionnaire, of course, and some of the things were a little off. And so, one, he hadn't talked yet, and two, he still hadn't learned how to eat with a spoon. So his pediatrician decided to recommend him for speech therapy, and she recommended him for an evaluation for speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. He went to all of those evaluations. His speech evaluation decided that he needed to go to speech therapy twice a week. He did not need physical therapy. His gross motor function is pretty good. He runs and he plays and he does all those stuff, so he's good as far as gross motor function. And then the occupational therapy evaluation, they decided that he needed to go once a week, just to kind of help with his sensory overload and, teaching him how to use a spoon and fine motor function. So we started going to those, and then after a couple months, we had RJ's 2-year appointment, and at that point, they do the evaluation again, and she consulted with us. She said, he's in speech, he's on OT, we've kind of done what we can so far. I think now it's time to send him to a neurologist and see what they say. And so we scheduled that appointment. We went in, and this appointment was Tuesday the 9th, which was this week. And we went in, and to be honest, I did not like the doctor. He was cold, and he just, he talked to us, and he said, I agree with your concerns. And he talked about therapies, and he was talking about ABA therapy, which is a type of therapy that you can, for autistic, or kids with autism. And he asked if we'd heard about it, and I said yes. I've done a lot of research, and I was like, yes, I told him, yes, I've heard about it, but as far as I knew, you had to have an actual autism diagnosis to get ABA therapy. And he's like, well, the way he did things was just really weird. Everything I had read and everything that I had researched and read had said that there would be like a test, and he would be evaluated, and literally the doctor came in maybe 15 to 20 minutes, talked to us a little bit, said he agreed with our concerns, and then diagnosed RJ with autism. And from what I know, the doctor he's been doing this for a while, and I'm sure he knows autism when he sees autism, but we knew RJ had autism, but I wanted to learn more about RJ's autism, so I was a little disappointed as far as how getting the diagnosis went. But now that we have the diagnosis, we can get ABA therapy and just get him more help. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's as far as like the warning flags, and just, very independent, didn't play with other kids. He spins everything. Oh my gosh, he spins everything. But he's so goofy. Like, I love RJ so much, and it's funny to me because a lot of what autism brings out in him are some of my favorite quirks about RJ. He's so silly, and he's doing so well. He's in his speech therapy, and he's in his OT therapy, really, occupational therapy, and he's doing really well, and getting this diagnosis will help him even more, It's hard, being a mom, you want the best for your children, and to think that your child might have a disability, and autism is forever. There's no curing it. It's the way his brain is wired. to think that your child might have a rougher time at life just because of a disease or element of the mind. It's hard, you know, but what we can do now is get him help teach him to how to cope with his autistic brain, and just love him. You know, surround him with people who love him, and he has a lot of people rooting for him because so many people commented and reached out to me after we posted about him having the diagnosis, and it's been kind of amazing, and people telling us, like, you know, just sharing information and sharing camps and just all kinds of stuff, and it's been really heartwarming to see how many people love and care about my family, you know. But yeah, so that's why things have been a little bit hectic as far as getting videos up. We're just kind of trying to deal with getting the diagnosis and being sick and all of those fun things. I just want to thank everyone for their love and support and for being with us through this journey. I kind of want to do more like autism videos, and I want to record his progress, and I don't know, I just think it's important for awareness, and I like to record things, I like to remember, and I like to look back on things, so I think recording his journey will be something I want to do. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. I'm here to answer them. I am not an autism expert, but I have done a lot of research, and I don't know, maybe I can help, maybe I can't, maybe I don't know. But yes, leave any questions in the comments, and yeah. I never know how to end these videos. I feel like I just rambled. Did any of this make sense? I don't know. But I figured I'd share with you guys all about my pregnancy. And this is a big turning point in our life, so I figured why not film it? I don't know. What am I saying? Okay guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!